Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to FreshBaked. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the news that you may or may not have heard by now that Governor Newsom and the state of California have issued a new stay-at-home order. Actually, I should say a potential stay-at-home order because this order only goes into effect if a region reaches a certain metric. So in this episode, I just want to kind of quickly break down what that metric is and how it might impact, the downtown Disney, Knott's, and Universal. Okay, so first off, that metric that is being reviewed is different from the tiers, the colored tiers that we've become accustomed to, the purple, red, orange, and yellow. This tier is separate from that, or I should say this metric is separate from that, and it's measuring hospitalizations in ICU beds. Basically, it's saying that if a given region reaches 85% of their capacity, then the stay-at-home order goes into effect. And by that I mean, let's say if there's 100 beds in a given county and 85 of those beds are full, the stay-at-home order goes into effect. Now, most regions have not reached that 85% level yet, although it is my understanding that they're expecting to. It's trending that way. Things are skyrocketing, basically. For example, Orange County, they're expecting Orange County to reach that level by next week, by early next week, Monday or Tuesday. Now, on that topic, I should say, for those curious and wondering how this compares to the previous stay-at-home order back in, what was it, March or whatever, statistics, cases and hospitalizations are greater than that time period when we were all instructed to stay home. So if you're wondering if this is any worse or better than that time frame, it's actually a little worse. However, the order is not as restrictive as the previous order was. So it's interesting how that is playing out. So under this order, if a region, by that I mean a county, if a county reaches 85%, the stay-at-home order goes into effect. Now, retail would still be open under this order, but at reduced capacity at 20%. Now that's actually not so bad considering, if I recall correctly, when they first opened downtown Disney, after it had been closed completely, it opened at 25%, and then recently I think it had gone up to 40%. So going back down to 20, while not great, is still doable. It's still an enjoyable experience for those who are trying to go to downtown Disney and do a little shopping, especially during this holiday season, which I should add, this order is in effect as now. I should say we're on the clock now, and will be on the clock for 3 weeks, is what they're saying. So just shy of Christmas Day. And then also churches will still be open under this order if they reach that 85% plateau, and professional sports can still be played just like they are now, without any fans in the seats. So that part hasn't really changed much. The real effect is going to be on dining and what kind of dining these outdoor malls offer. They have right now, as it stands, you can do outdoor dining at reduced capacity. There is no indoor dining, and that's true in Orange County at downtown Disney and Knott's. LA right now, prior to this order, had eliminated outdoor dining. I should say that there has been pushback on the LA order, and some counties, some cities, Pasadena and Beverly Hills come to mind, they're not following the order. They're still doing outdoor dining. I don't know if that's going to be the case for Orange County if and when that happens. Hard to say. I will say this: Disney is not known for not following any sort of state or local guidelines with respect to this kind of thing. So if the state does come down and does issue this order, Disney would follow it. So getting back to the restrictions, retail at 20%, and then dining locations can stay open, but only for takeout, pickup, or delivery. Now, that is an interesting situation depending on where you are. Universal, for example, is still open. As a matter of fact, I got an email from Universal today that says, hey, we're still open. We still have some locations open. You can still shop and you can still eat. I question, though, where, in terms of where you're supposed to eat, because as I've heard, they've taken out many of the tables that, like let's say if you go to the upstairs food court where Taco Bell and KFC are, the tables there, if I understand correctly, have been removed. So I'm not sure where you're supposed to eat that, if you're supposed to just stand there and eat it off to the side or what. I'm not sure. Maybe some of those common tables out there by the Christmas tree in that Esplanade area are still available. But yeah, so what you can't do at Universal is sit down and dine at some of those dining locations, but Buca di Beppo has takeout, I believe, and then all of the other fast food types joints, Voodoo Donuts, that kind of thing, are still open today, or would still be open if the stay-at-home order were put into effect. Somewhat is the same is true for downtown Disney. The only casualty at Buena Vista Street, if this order were to come into effect, would probably be Carthay, because obviously nobody's doing takeout for Carthay. So you would probably not. They would probably close Carthay, but Award Wieners and Smoke Jumpers would still be open because they are right now under mobile order anyway. There is no indoor or outdoor dining for this. I mean, I should say strictly attached. Now, Smoke Jumpers does have attached outdoor dining. I question if those tables would remain, but there's a lot of community tables, and I wonder if those would remain in much the same way that we're talking about with Universal and CityWalk, if those community tables have been removed. But for whatever reason, I feel like it is my belief, and I have nothing to base this on other than just gut, it is my belief that those tables would stay in downtown Disney. So you would be able to, if this order came into effect, you would still be able to get a hot dog or a corn dog at Award Wieners. Worst case scenario, you just stand next to a trash can and eat it like you're going to a food festival. I don't know. Same for Smoke Jumpers. But I do expect there to be some effect on downtown Disney. Uva Bar, Naples, Jazz Kitchen, Tortilla Joe's, those are subject to closure because there is no takeout for those that I'm aware of. I mean, Naples does have that express, but that hasn't been open since they opened downtown Disney for some reason. I'm not sure about Ballast Point and Black Tap if they have takeout. I know they have, Black Tap has that express window for the shakes, which you can just walk up to, and I'm certain that would still be a thing, but I'm not sure if you can get a burger that way. So that remains to be seen. But otherwise, I would expect, I know this seems like an easy thing to say, business as usual. I don't know. It would be something like business as usual, even if the order stays in effect. I would say at minimum, you'll still be able to go to downtown Disney. What about Knott's? Well, it is my understanding that Knott's is going to be business as usual as well. Knott's Merry Farm will continue to operate even if the order goes into effect. So if you have a ticket for that, expect that for that to still be a thing. We're going tomorrow. Otherwise, at Knott's Berry Farm, expect the marketplace to be open. Expect to still be able to go to Mrs. Knott's and get your takeout chicken. They do have that outdoor seating, the alfresco dining. Not sure if that would still be there, depending on how they classify that as being attached to the restaurant or not. But you can still shop at Knott's Berry Farm. As a matter of fact, it is my intention to go to Knott's, to the marketplace, sometime this week after the order goes into effect, if it does, which I assume it will be, again, considering the trend that Orange County is traveling under right now. Once the order goes into effect, I'm going to go out to Knott's and I'm going to go out to downtown Disney to see what the effects are. And I guess that pretty much covers it. Nothing has happened yet. Everything is still operating as it was, a week ago. Just the expectation that if that 85% plateau is reached, the shutdown is enacted. We don't even know if that's going to be the case, so we're going to pay attention to that. But even if it does happen, even if the shutdown does occur, there still will be some ways, some degree of being able to still go to downtown Disney, the marketplace, and Universal CityWalk. It's just up to you in terms of what you think you'll enjoy. But either way, we're going to be there to report on it, so stay tuned to FreshBaked to see how that works out. Until then, please stay safe, be kind to one another, and FreshBaked.